SWILLY Defense Regiment, SDR. Not a hooligan firm, but Plymouth hooligans are SDR, or shall we say, there have been Plymouth hooligans in SDR. Let's break it down. Your boy Delboy Diablo, hooligan historian, and a little known group. I only know it from being in Plymouth. There's no video whatsoever, or nobody talking about it whatsoever. The only thing I could find, the only article, and then these become, they're not religious articles, but it's like Indiana Jones collecting artifacts, isn't it? You know, just like the Shroud of Turin, if I may say, no disrespect to Jesus. The Shroud of Turin is akin to this flag or banner I saw that's on the cover of this video, because recently an SDR member, ex-SDR member, whatever, SDR, SWILLY Defense Regiment, and Swilly is a city, an area that no longer exists, but I want to keep the Swilly name alive. So I didn't know the brother, I didn't know him, but this picture, in the comments you can say what you want to say. It must have been something. They got a horse following him. I don't know if he's a traveler, because he got a horse with a carriage, but I don't know what the circumstance, please tell me. But they got the SDR banner, so they had an SDR. I don't think they made it new. It looked like it's old. And then, so there's that article, which it's not that I want to own it or possess it. We should be in a museum. The Museum of Football Hooliganism, that's in the side room, in the Plymouth room. Here, we can make it in Wynwood, next to the Graffiti Museum. Cheers to a man like Kesto One. He can help me on the curating of that, but the other football lads can help me with the curating of the Football Hooliganism Museum and Casuals Museum, you see. So anyway, SDR, SWILLY Defense Regiment. The other article, which is interesting, my man, the great Plymouth Ryan, British Jiu-Jitsu, you know, I'm talking about all these names and stuff, and he's not into that. That's not his thing. He's into martial arts, and he doesn't go around doing the good and getting in football fights or in that kind of thing. So he's in a different culture, but he understands it, he gets it, he knows it's British. You know, that's the thing. End of the day, football hooliganism is British, and uniquely British. Skinheads, boot boys, you know, skinheads mixed with a Jamaican culture, but even still, all this stuff is British culture that I'm out there representing, and that I'm partaking in and spreading and furthering. So it is what it is, either way. When I talk about the SDR, so I seen that banner, and I've seen other people writing SDR lately on YouTube and elsewhere. Put that, like, their TCE and SDR. There's definitely members that overlap, but the SDR is not a football hooligan firm. What was it? If it has a bit of a darker side politically or something, but you know, by the name, it might imply that. I don't know. I don't care about that. That's in the past. As far as I'm concerned, it was a unit, and it had a history, and I ain't heard nothing bad about it. I've heard good about the SDR, nothing bad so far, but bomb. It's an interesting thing right there. Maybe some things are left better unsaid. Either way, the Plymouth Ryan, I want to start talking about SWILLY Defense Regiment. Oh yeah, my mate's dad was in that. And yeah, he had Dr. Martin boots stamped. What? Dr. Martin boots stamped with your crew name on it? Okay, I've seen stuff like that. They're bad, but yeah, like they got bad stamped in there. Now, do they stamp your boots, or do they issue your boots? Either way, I want those boots. Like I said, I don't have to own them, but I want them in the museum. I want that banner for the SDR, and I want those boots. In the comments below, teach the history of the SDR. Now, what I do know about Swilly was a hard area. It doesn't exist anymore. That was in a more economically downtrodden time period, I want to say. Things have gotten better economically in Plymouth, so they kind of gentrified that area. It doesn't exist anymore. It's called something else. But I like to keep the history of Swilly and Swilly boys alive. For I know that Swilly boys, not SWILLY Defense Regiment, not SDR, Swilly boys is the Big Tony, A38s, TCE, and then I worked for Steven and Jamie. It was the other lad that I worked with, Jamo, and those guys are Swilly boys. And the Steven had fought on behalf of Swilly boys, Plymouth Argyle and that, but not as TCE as such. But I suppose that was when the Steve Manley was coming around and stuff. So, respect to Swilly, the history of Swilly. We ain't gonna let it die. SWILLY Defense Regiment, good, bad, the ugly, whatever you want to put. Respect, put it in the comments.